All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have big PulseX news on the last day of the PulseX sacrifice phase. There are, at the time of recording, 4 hours and 19 minutes left to get in the Genesis group of addresses that sacrifice for Pulse Chain and for PulseX. Folks, upon the last day of the sacrifice phase, we have received some screenshots from Richard Hart that are very exciting, showing us what the PulseX interface is going to be like, some potential staking rewards, and some potential avenues for compounding your interest earning potential. So folks, if you want to find out how this news could potentially help me and you make some millions, like and subscribe, hit that bell icon to notify of new uploads, because I'm trying to buy my way out the hood and hopefully help a lot of other people do the same thing along the way. So let's talk about this news that may very well help in that endeavor. So Richard Hart has now tweeted out some screenshots in which you can stake PLSX and earn X PLSX. So this may be a placeholder name, we don't know for sure yet, for this new third inflationary token that Richard Hart has been talking about. So for those of you who don't know, typically speaking, in order to incentivize liquidity coming onto PulseX and lots of trading, and PulseX being the main decentralized exchange, well, you need to provide incentive in order to do so. And what happens with many of the swaps, with Uniswap, with PancakeSwap, for example, liquidity providers and stakers will get paid in the PancakeSwap token, in the Uniswap token, in order for providing liquidity. But that's not the situation here with PulseX, at least not as it appears for the moment. You will in fact be able to earn rewards in this new third inflationary token that isn't PulseX, called perhaps XPLSX here. Now, this may be a placeholder, we don't know for sure, but what we do know is by holding XPLSX, you are participating in PLSX buybacks, which are using 0.07 of trading fees to buy back PLSX and sending them to this pool. Doing so increases PLSX ratio, meaning you will be able to claim back increasingly more PLSX for every XPLSX token you are holding. So lots of fancy terminology. Essentially, this is a staking feature for PLSX, folks. So we don't know the APRs, the APYs as of now. They are very likely to be fluid and change. The more people stake, the lower the APY is likely to be, both in PulseX and in the new third inflationary token. But this is good to see, folks. This is development. We're getting very, very close to the launch of Pulse Chain. I mean, the PulseX sacrifice phase is ending today at the time of recording. Then we have testnet version 3 for Pulse Chain, and then launch of Pulse Chain should be relatively soon afterwards. Now in the screenshot, we can see how if you stake your PLSX, you can earn this XPLSX token. And what's specifically interesting, folks, and the reason why I'm so excited because of PulseX was because of that recent news that you can stake PulseX and earn an interest. Not just that, you can take that interest and you can restake it. You could either buy Pulse Chain, stake Pulse Chain with a validator, or you could choose to provide liquidity. In this example, if you provide liquidity for PLSX to PLS, this is what you could potentially be earning. Now again, folks, these high APR rates are typically just rates you see at the beginning when there's low liquidity, and the more people that provide liquidity to a pool, the less everyone earns altogether. Now, one thing you got to understand when potentially talking about liquidity providing is that one of the biggest risks when it comes to liquidity providing is the risk of impermanent loss. And while it can be rather complicated to understand, to put it very, very simply, all impermanent loss is that when you provide liquidity, you provide two sides of a pair. Whichever side moves more when you go to withdraw, you get less of that coin back. So let's say you provide $1,000 with the Pulse Chain, $1,000 with the PulseX. Let's say Pulse Chain outperforms, just for example. When you go to withdraw your liquidity, maybe since Pulse Chain outperformed, you get less Pulse Chain back than you put in the first place, which is why you're being rewarded with such a high APR, because you're taking on the risk of impermanent loss, which essentially means whatever side of the pair moved the most when you go to withdraw, you get less of that coin back. So there will be that route to stake and earn an interest on, well, not necessarily stake, but to earn an interest on your PLSX. There's likely to be a pair with Hex as well, PLSX Hex, Pulse Chain Hex, USDC Hex, Pulse Chain to USDC, PulseX to USDC. We're likely going to have dozens and dozens of these different pairs you could provide liquidity to. Again, folks, when you're providing liquidity, there is that risk of impermanent loss. So if you want to go the safer route, you could just stake PLSX and earn the inflationary token. You could just stake Pulse Chain with a validator and earn whatever interest the network accrues through fees. And that's a less risky way of going about getting getting interest through your coins. As we can see here, there will also be analytics. So we can see the amount of liquidity there will be in Pulse Chain, 24-hour trading volume, the top tokens being traded, top pools that have the most liquidity, most recent transactions. So folks, look, this is interesting because we're getting close. We're finally getting there. I mean, Pulse Chain, the Pulse Chain SAC phase launched, I don't know how many months ago. So to finally see this thing coming together is very exciting. Look at this, folks. Look how clean this looks. I'm excited. Look, guys, on this channel, the whole point of this channel and the whole reason why I got into crypto is to go from being not very rich to being very much rich. And so in order to do so, if you've been following the channel and my progress, I did a 10K to 1 million challenge where I put all my life savings into rich star projects, including putting, for the challenge, 10K into PulseX to try and turn it into $1 million. So, folks, look, I truly think that PulseX and Pulse Chain is the next 100x, next 1000x coin. You know, might it take a couple years? Sure. But look, guys, you know, typically speaking, cryptocurrency is at its most heated 1 year after the most recent Bitcoin halving. So, you know, the next Bitcoin halving is sometime 2024. So could we see that, you know, a couple 100x, maybe 1000x by sometime 2025, by the end of 2025? Well, I don't know for sure, folks. You know, I don't have a crystal ball, but, you know, if I were a betting man, and I suppose I am through my actions, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see that 1000x by the end of 2025. But who knows? Not a financial advisor. And there will also be a voting function with PulseX. Because again, folks, PulseX is essentially a super fancy governance coin where you will be able to vote on proposals to the decentralized the DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, that will determine, you know, what liquidity pairs get rewarded, what rates, what staking pools get rewarded, what. And folks, look, it seems that the intern here at aMillionortheMoon is calling me Messin. So why don't we, before we wrap this video, hear what Messin has to say about PulseX. Messin, you're being recorded as we speak. What do you think about PulseX and the DAO?
PulseX, great innovation added to the blockchain technology.
He's such a
I
shill.
think it's going to be one of the biggest competitors on the chain, and you know, I'm just excited for what the community is going to do. But I mean, like, look, things have been really going awesome for the whole community, and I think really that there's a lot in store.
All right, well, folks, you heard it from Messin. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. I'm 100% leaving that in the video. Until next time, folks, take care.